Because it only limits your scope sometimes to being a help desk analyst.
Exactly. I had an interview with one company. I forget the name, but it was for identity access management type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something that was trying to relate from my help desk to this role because they said I asked them what they do in their current roles. And it's like, where we provision access to certain technology system based on whoever the users is. And most of those, we work those type of tickets. I'm like, I do some of the same things. When people call us asking, hey, I got no access to this application. And then we tell them, hey, submit a ticket on this site here. And then it provisions you access to that based on if you are in the group to have that application or not. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm doing some similar stuff like that already. But only thing they saw on my resume was his help desk. And I think they were just talking to me just to say, hey, we interviewed a lot of people. And
right. Did you say on your resume that you provision access?
I didn't change my resume so much. Back then, at that point, I'm not sure. I think I had most of the troubleshooting stuff I was doing with different technologies.
Yeah. and so that's the pitfall. This is for help desk people right now. That's the pitfall that you'll fall into. Like I was working with a guy. He had some of the stuff he was doing. Actually, last night I went through his resume with him. I was like, this stuff is good, but when they read this, all they're going to see is help desk. I was like, take off all this troubleshooting stuff and let's put stuff that you help with. He was telling me how they helped stop a phishing campaign and some other stuff. I said, yeah, put all that stuff on there. That's going to show you got a grasp of the roles you're applying to.
But it's so much, like at certain help desks, it's so much stuff you can't put everything.
Well, the thing is, the reason why is a lot of people, I don't want you to put what you do day to day. Let's put achievements of things you are proud of. Different that you do at the job, because a help desk can comprise of different things. You could probably be doing some networking stuff, some support stuff, some hardware stuff, identity access management. You could be running scripts. There's different things you could do because you need to write the stuff down. I think a lot of issues is people get to the job and they don't write down what they do. Yeah. So they'll just go take the job description and put it on their resume. And that's why they're not getting no success. And how do I know that? Because I used to do it.
Yeah.
And if I used to do it, other people did it. and that's why your resume wasn't good. It's not actionable.
Yeah, I mean, the resume got me the interview, but I think they asked me some questions I knew the answer to, vulnerability management and stuff like that from just self-studying. What you know about, VMware. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're using VMware Horizon where I'm at, provision access to different virtual machines. I just had an answer to everything except of that's what type of vulnerability scans you run. I'm like, well, I don't do that currently. So, I don't run vulnerability scans where I'm at. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. But that was the only thing I didn't know.
I'm surprised you didn't say, we, you could have said, as a company, we run these. Technically, you wouldn't have been lying.
Yeah, but hey, at that, I wasn't. You wasn't
the Clay Talk Show yet.
I wasn't thinking on my feet back then. But the funny part about that is, I hit the recruiter where she hit me up after the interview. They were like, so yeah, you did good in the interview, but they say your skill set is more fit for a help desk role, which is not in the salary range that we talked about for this role. So, I'm
confused. How does that make sense?
She said they feel as though your skill set is more fit for a help desk. Because she called me, said, what's your salary range that you're looking for? Back then I said 70 to 90K, and I think the role was paying like 85. And
so they were pretty much saying your skill set didn't fit what you want to be paid.
Basically, yeah. And even though I knew like 90% of the stuff they was talking about already, because I didn't know that one thing.
But why do you feel like it was that one thing?
Because I had a great answer, or I had understanding of what they.
And this is what me and him get into, because he'll tell me he said this or that on an interview, and I was like, "Well, did you record it?"
I recorded some now since I'm doing a lot more interviews now, but back then I wasn't aware of the challenges the tech field presented. I didn't think it would be this hard to move up or laterally the way I wanted to. But then this is when I started figuring it out that, this stuff is not A, B, C, black and white, like they wanted to present to you in these courses and online.
But I don't think that. I think that some people sell that, but I think mostly people don't say it's like A, B, C. Because the courses that I do promote are typically ones that actually have stuff to help people with that and understanding the interview process in general. Because like I said, it's hard for somebody who's been doing help desk to change their mindset from answering from a help desk. Like remember I did the post and I was talking about my client in the situation where he was talking about MFA from a help desk end user's perspective, but not from a security perspective of what this control can be used for, what type of policies we can use to help fortify our defenses. He was just focusing on, it's easy interface for the end user. That's not what they're looking for when they ask you in the interview.
Yeah, I had to learn that the hard way too. So I had to change the mindset. I was talking to different people, then that's how I came across, your stuff again. And yeah, just an everyday learning experience.
Yeah. Like right now, I got a client, I think he has an upcoming interview for a SOC analyst. So I always tell them, okay, cool, go take my questions that I have posted on pinned to my profile on LinkedIn and go do it. So I can assess your skill set, and then I can review it, and I can tell you what you work on. So by the time you really get to the interview, I'll also send you the stuff, the little BS stuff they'll send you about, like, what is this? What is SSH? What is port 53? All that BS crap. You can just go memorize that. That's really not a good way to measure if you're going to be good at the role.
Yeah, I got a SOC analyst interview for when I was at the startup company. I think it was Evo.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I thought Evo was a startup.
No, Evo was a payments. They big. They're internationally known company.
I probably would have gave you a raise by now.
But they wanted me to come in at the same pay I was already making. But in an interview, first of all, it was an on-site interview, so it was a long.
Did you have a suit on?
No, I just went in my work clothes.
What you had on?
Like just had like a little polo, some khakis.
You got some polo boots?
No, I just had some tennis shoes on. I had some Nikes on or something that day. But yeah, he said, so yeah, man, so we have these in person now because when I was doing interviews back in the COVID days, I had these virtual interviews, and I just felt as though people was Googling answers. I was seeing them looking around, looking down, and la. So now we in person. I'm like, that's fine. The only thing he really asked me was a lot of port numbers. I'm like, what service is this? What port is this? What port number is this? I'm like, well, I gave it all of that was on the top of my mind since I was in ACI at the time, so it was all easy stuff to just blurt out. I'm like, that's what it is. But I made it through that process, and I made it to the final steps, and I think they were trying to offer me that same salary for working
I told you to take it.
I think I was working longer hours, 12 hours, and I'm like...
It's like, 3 days a week?
It was rotating, so some days it'd be 4, some days it'd be 3.
Yeah.
It was like 12 hours.
Do you think you should have took it?
Nah.
For the experience?
No, because I was getting more experience where I was at the startup because I was touching so many different things. I was touching cloud, I was basically from beginning to end procurement of software. We procured CrowdStrike. They said, hey, we need antivirus because the antivirus we got sucks. So, hey, I had to set up a call. They said, find a vendor. I found CrowdStrike. Had to set up a call with them, talk to them about our environment, talked about how many endpoints that we have, what our goals are as a company, what we're trying to protect from. So I had to talk to that procurement standpoint, also deploying it standpoint, configuring it standpoint. So I went the whole, like in another company, that'll be different roles. There'll be probably a project program manager or something who actually talks to the vendor, another team who actually sees how to configure it, another team who actually configures it and deploys it. I was doing the job of 4 people put into one. So I think that gave me more experience than that SOC would have gave me. So,
okay, I feel like that. You feel like you should have rolled the startup out till the wheels fell off?
No, because like I said, they.
No. I said till the wheels fell. When did the wheels fall off?
The wheels fell off 2 months after I started at where I'm at now. Now I hit up one of the old product managers saying how she was doing. She's like, "Oh, we're not doing it all." I'm like, "What does that mean?" She's like, everybody's looking for another job because we went 2 weeks without getting paid and nobody heard from the CEO. All the shareholders either quit or got fired, and everybody's in the dark about what's going on. And then you just go look up some articles about the guy you see. He's on a run, owes over $100 million in investments to people, and it was just crazy. So I was like, well, I guess I got out at the right time. 2 months would have went by, I would have been unemployed.
Got you. All right, look, now here comes some fun stuff, man. Let's react to some TikTok content. All right. Yeah. Like I said, I love doing this. This creator, she be doing her thing, but a lot of stuff you can tell is word salad. And I'm finna show it to you right here so you can listen.
Unnecessary fluff. If it ever plays.